I was going to show you what we're doing tonight. Working on the White International. Yes, it's broke down, but, well, it ain't really fully broke down. But my starter's going down on it. The bendix and the starter's bad. The starter will spin, but it won't kick the gear out to engage with the flywheel. And you can see it better on this one, but this is your bendix right here. This is an old starter off the other truck. That's what pushes your starter gear out, engages with the flywheel. Once the truck starts, it kicks back. That's a cat, in case any of you was wondering. That is right in my way. Would you move? Thank you. This starter has a lot heavier duty gear on it. This is the new one I bought. It's not a rebuilt, it's a brand new starter. I hope it's right. I'm getting ready to pull the other one out of the truck. Thought these might be the same. They basically are, other than that gear right here. But, yeah. But anyways, I was down here earlier and went ahead and disconnected my batteries on the truck. You always want to do that anytime you work on something electrical. Unless you're diagnosing something. But the starter's right down in there. I've got my wiring all disconnected. So my next step is to take the bolts out and pull that out and put the new one in. I'm attacking the most difficult bolt I've got first. It's right up in there. And the way these fuel filters are, I can't get an impact to them. And that thing was tight, but I did get it broke loose. I got the top bolt out. Now, see if we can get this one broke loose. My creeper's rolling away. No. Okay. Now, we'll just finish spinning them out. Got this last bolt to get out. And try not to let this starter fall and smash her face. So, I got you on a good spot. Maybe you can see what happens. Zoe's over here attacking a piece of plastic. Oh, junk in my eyeballs and my mouth. I don't know how much this starter weighs. But I know it ain't light. Oh, okay. And it looks like the new one is probably the right thing. Got it on my chest. Trying to get it rolled over here. Oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness. Flywheel, at least right there, looks just fine. I'll show you that in a few minutes. Let me come out of here. Take it over here. can tell that in there just doesn't want to lock up. This in here, both these others grip. Now, I need to try to measure the diameter of this one and compare it to this other one. And hope they're the same. If they don't, they're not made exactly the same. And I don't want to tear my flywheel up. So I'm going to do a little investigation. Okay. Take this caliper and put it over the outside of this gear. And put it over that one. And it's pretty close to the same. Pretty close. This one might be a thousandths or two smaller on the outside part of the cog, but that's not going to matter. The depth of the teeth look a little different. If I can measure that somehow. No, they're not, but they sure look different. Sure look different. If you don't have a caliper, I'd recommend getting one. They're pretty handy little tool to have. Alright, here's a lesson I learned the hard way at one time. Is you got these little spacers. Little shims for different size bolts. And when I was putting the starter in that red International, I didn't pay attention to that. And I was laying there holding it up there, about to get the bolt put in, grunting, struggling. And realized these little spacers needed to go in there. So, we'll get that put in. Probably easier to do without these gloves on. Now, got that done. I've made sure my nose cone is positioned correctly, because these can be adjusted depending on what model engine you have and things. These starters fit a lot of different engines. It's a wonder this one was even. These others will spin backwards, but when you try to spin them forward, it spins the whole starter. This one here doesn't. It's a wonder it's even starting, I think. What I think I'm going to do, this starter, the motor and the bendix and all was good on it. But this bushing is wallered out real bad on the end. I want to change these nose cones out on them. So that one would fit my red truck if I ever needed it still. So the motor's good on this one, which is a little different starter than that one. They look pretty similar, but it's not exactly. But either way, I'll take these two old ones and make one good one for one truck. Somehow or some way. Now we'll get this thing grunted over there and put back in its place. Apparently, that's a good warm place to lay after I've been laying on it. Can't have nothing nice these days without cats taking over. I'm working my way back. Working my way back in there. Whew. Shoot. I was going to show y'all the flywheel, but I forgot to bring you back under here. The flywheel. So that's what your starter engages with. And you can see a little bit of wearing on the little shiny on the teeth where it's been engaging. I think that's because it's not fully catching in the teeth where it wasn't slinging out there good. It was just barely grabbing it enough to crank it. And luckily these engines start real easy. You don't have to grind on it long. So it had been starting it, but it wasn't going to for much longer. I'm running over my tools. Oh my gosh. What a day. No, it's actually been a pretty good day. Shouldn't be complaining. Shouldn't be complaining. See if I get my flashlight positioned slightly. Starter in tow. Oh gosh. And for those of you that may not know, when you grunt, and make noises, when you lift, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Well, that was a used to be a good flashlight. It just failed. But I'm going to tighten these bottom ones up to where it pulls the starter in good. And then I'll somehow get the top one started. But this starter's so much easier to get to and work on than it was on that red truck. An inline 6-cylinder engine, gas or diesel. It's the way to go. So much more room in the engine bay and under the truck. I'll get on tight as I can with that wrench. And I'll put the old cheater on it. And tighten it around more. That was pretty tight. Let me check this one again. That one's getting tight. Now, I'll have to move y'all. And don't ever try to change the starter without unhooking the battery. And every time that wrench hits metal under here, you're going to be setting something on fire. Oh. Okay. Get my tools slung out and we'll be ready to roll. Another tip of the day is when you unhook batteries, change batteries, whatever it might be, always unhook your ground first and then the positive, because you got like this bracketry in here, metal everywhere. If you go to unhooking that positive and get your wrench against something, again, you're going to have an arc. Could potentially cause a fire or whatever. I always unhook the ground first, especially. Even if I'm not going to take the batteries totally out, you'll unhook the ground, and then you don't have to worry about arcing anything over unless you wash the ground off between posts. That'd be the only danger there. But we'll get these finished put on. Okay, let's give it a whirl and see. Well, sounds like it should. Happy with that. Happy with that. Wasn't too bad of a job either. Wasn't too bad. Just gonna go over with you real quick. I know, you know, some of you, I don't know if you do or not, but I ain't had the truck long. Had to change the starter, all that. Some of you might be concerned other things might go down on it. That's always a possibility. That's a possibility on a new vehicle. We got a Toyota Highlander with 60,000 miles. I had to have a water pump put in it the other day. So, you know, things happen. But I was going to go over a few items. It's got a new oil cooler on it. The oil cooler's been replaced. Don't know when, but it is new. The alternator's recently been replaced. It's got a new thermostat in it. The water pump appears to be fairly new, recently changed. Radiator, yeah, I seen the date on it. It's in the 2000s. Went like 2019 maybe? No, it wasn't 19. 18? Not all. It's not very old. I seen the date on the bottom of it one day. So that's been changed. The air conditioner, compressor, and all the systems been changed over to R134A instead of the old style coolant. One thing we do need to do one day is this alternator bracket is supposed to be mounted down there. Now, the thing I don't know is, have they done that to stabilize that air conditioner compressor from moving? Has that been a problem in the past, vibrating or something, and they've moved it, but it's supposed to be mounted down there. Got a little bit of vibration when it's running in the alternator, kind of doing this number because I don't think it's supported correctly. So we may kind of change that the way it's supposed to be, but I'm just kind of concerned that maybe they did that for a reason. I don't know. May have just been a mistake. But, you know, you're going to have problems. I guess the biggest thing that concerns me, and I might go ahead and buy one to have in stock, is this lift pump right here. This bolts onto the injector pump. You know, that's the injector pump. But this little part down here, this is your primer button, and then this is a lift pump that drives off the injector pump that pulls your fuel from the tank, feeds the injector pump, and then your injector pump feeds your injectors. That little pump's been on there since the engine was rebuilt. You can tell by the paint on it. The engine was rebuilt, I think, at 170-some thousand miles. And the truck's got 332,000 miles. So, yeah, I don't know how long they last. But I might get one because that, you know, that's a potential weakness for sure. But other than that, I think everything's probably decent shape on the old truck. Pretty decent shape. Well, if you all will, please like, subscribe, and comment. Appreciate you watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up if you didn't. I would appreciate it. If you didn't like it, let me know what. Other than probably some bad camera angles and lighting. That's always an issue. But we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.